How can you use YouTube to meet your teaching and research goals? YouTube is a global platform, and it's also a platform that has some particular functionalities. Ideally, you want to be creating content that makes best use of the medium, that has audio, visual, text, and image, and if you feel really ambitious, also animations or graphics that will help to support and deliver your content. You will also reach your teaching and research goals more quickly if you create content that actually reaches your intended viewership. And we have a different video and lesson about audience, but it's worth keeping in mind that yes, there may be a few people who make YouTube videos for a very specialist audience, but our basic assumption is that you are here taking this course because you want to reach a broader audience. You want to address people who are not necessarily in your field or discipline, who are maybe beyond it, but you want to create content that excites them and interests them and really draws them into your field or discipline. And so I think one of the things worth keeping in mind is that YouTube is very different from the lecture hall. And so you want to kind of take the medium into account when you're creating your content. This is not just about scripting. This is about the whole design of your videos. As you adapt your content to fit the YouTube medium, you want to take advantage of hyperlinks, of subscription options, of the interactivity, of the comments, of even the video descriptions. Those can be tremendously important, as well as all of the metadata that goes into helping people find your content in the first place. For teaching, one of the advantages of the platform is that most students are familiar with YouTube. They know how to find things on YouTube, and they appreciate some of its functionalities. They may have commented on videos in the past, they may subscribe, they may have watch lists, but one of the functions of YouTube that they will probably like is its accessibility. If you've been using Canvas or Blackboard or some type of proprietary software for your institution, students often will need to log in with their campus-wide login and their password. But on YouTube, all they need is the link or the link to the playlist, and they can watch all the videos. So this accessibility is key. For teaching, you have a number of options. For example, there may be certain courses that you're teaching year in, year out at your institution, and you're kind of tired of giving the same lecture over and over. So maybe you want to create a series of video lectures where you kind of get it right once and it's relatively stable content so that you can use it again and again for all future iterations of the course. And this will then free up a lot of time. You can essentially flip your core curriculum in perpetuity going forward. Or perhaps you want to create a core curriculum on your field or your area of specialization for the broader internet public. I know I have one colleague at the University of British Columbia who specializes in nuclear proliferation and disarmament, and has created just a few video lectures, often very simple one-shot deals, or just him drawing on a piece of paper, showing how the logic of proliferation and non-proliferation works. These have been viewed by millions of people. Research examples are easy to think of too. Perhaps you have published works and you want to republish them or adapt them for video format for a more public audience, or maybe you have certain content that you've used in the classroom or a publication that you've done and you want to adapt it for a high school audience or for a community audience. Perhaps you have access to a particular archive or a set of research materials and you want to adapt them into video format and curate them for the general public. The channel that I run, called Modern Chinese Cultural Studies, is a good example of a channel that does both teaching and research. So I've been teaching courses on Chinese cinema, and I wanted to create an online course on Chinese cinema. So I'd have at least the video lectures taken care of, and then I could do other things in the classroom. I also had an archive of out-of-copyright films, and I'm a translator, and so I wanted to translate a lot of them because I felt like they hadn't been well translated in the past. So I have now an archive of translated films. And then I even went one step further and chopped those up into film clips so that people could discover those films just through the clips. I'm now developing a course on the modern Chinese novel, since I teach literature as well. I've also created playlists of videos that I produced, as well as videos produced by others, on research interests of my own, like Chinese humor, or a particular author or writer. In short, I've tried to use the YouTube platform to help build the fields of Chinese film studies and literary studies in new ways. We hope that the YouTube platform will prove useful to you in meeting your teaching and research goals. Just keep in mind that whatever those goals are, there are some copyright and intellectual property rights considerations to keep in mind about making your proprietary work public and also to not infringing on other people's copyright. So we've made a special video lecture specifically about that.